I don't really care if you're a climate change denier or you're an environmentalist with this video. It doesn't really matter. And if you're interested in learning about working with us, go ahead and click the link above. But the thing about climate change that everybody is having this big hoopla around, the funny thing about it is that you're having the wrong conversation. It's not about your children's children. For one, someday the human race is going to go extinct. Someday, supposedly anyway, we think that the sun is going to expand out. It's going to boil the ocean. The earth is going to explode into a supernova. Pieces of me are going to fly that way, this way, and every different way. And the whole show is going to be over. Nothing wrong with that. Every relationship ends. Even your relationship with your body will end. And everybody thinks that sounds morbid, but it's really not. It's quite beautiful, because then it makes me realize how important this moment is right here and right now. And I do appreciate you spending this moment with me. But the thing about climate change is not about your children's children. It's about what is happening to your body today. This is the thing that climate change deniers and people that are environmentalists can agree upon, because right now one is just screaming at the other one about how terrible of a person they are, and the other one is screaming at them about how stupid of a person they are. I'm not here to say which one is right and which one is wrong. What I am saying is that you're both being a little silly because you're having the wrong conversation, because the real conversation is how the pollution is affecting your body today. It is not your children's children. It is your body right here and right now. The pollution that is in your food, the petroleum that is in the air, is negatively affecting your hormones on a level where your men are actually producing about 50% of the sperm counts that their grandfathers were. Now that's a little alarming. That's like weird. It's like if you've ever seen the movie Children of Men, it's kind of like a backwards effect. Instead of women not being able to get pregnant, it's men not being able to get women pregnant, and amongst other things. But what you're seeing is that the petroleum in the air is, for men, is that testosterone levels are dropping drastically, and that for females, they're rising drastically. So women are getting the mustache and the Adam's apple a little bit more often than they would have in years past, and men are not producing the same amount of chest hair. They're not getting as broad of shoulders. They're not becoming the men that they once were. That's kind of weird, right? And this isn't like just Adam theory. Go look this stuff up. The negative effects of our water supply and our air supply and our food supply is having this on our body, where our bodies are producing either less testosterone for males and more estrogen for males, and more testosterone, less estrogen for females. Now, the implications of this are pretty wide-reaching. Besides just the fertility thing, I mean, there's a lot of health ramifications that are going to come off of this. And you notice, I think I read a statistic a few months ago about the percentage of men above, I think it was 40. I think it was above 40 years old, the percentage of men that are on some kind of testosterone supplementation, where they're stabbing themselves with a syringe on a regular basis to increase their testosterone, because they're low testosterone, so they're taking steroids essentially to up their testosterone. It's very high. I don't remember what the number was, but I think it was like pretty close to 30% of the population above 40 years old. I mean, that's a lot of people. So if we think like the ramifications of what's going on here, it is not your children's children. It is what's happening today to your body today. Okay? Now you've created a commonality that we can have a conversation around the climate change thing. I'm not saying what would be really silly about the whole climate change thing is to think that it's not changing. There is no such thing as non-change. Okay? Everything changes on some level. Every moment you are changing just a little bit. Even a rock sitting, for a million years, like the weather is still eroding slightly on that rock. Everything is in a state of perpetual change. So to think that the climate is always going to stay the same is a little silly. Also is the idea that, it rose 2 degrees, so we have to freak out about it. Like where we're sitting right now, I don't care where you are, the whole earth at one point was molten lava just boiling around, right? So I don't really know where you sit on the thing, and I don't think it really matters. What matters is what is happening in our air, in our food, and in our water right now that is negatively affecting our body. Climate change. You're having the wrong conversation. Change the verbiage.